Alright, Doom Vivamos Vivamus Epicureans. This is the Marvel Epic Collection Podcast One-Shot Edition. I'm your host, Nick Smith, and I'm joined by...
Stojr from Stojr Shelf. How's it going, Nick?
Doing well, particularly since we are participating in Kurtis Findlay's Epic Marvel Podcast Reading Club, and this one-shot is going to be our brief thoughts on today's issue, which is Uncanny X Men number 127, The Quality of Hatred. Alright, so Proteus gave the X-Men the slip, but Cyclops has to rally the troops, which he does with an impromptu fight. That seems to work, and the X-Men gather themselves back together to follow Proteus to Edinburgh, where he ends up possessing his father. The power that he gains from his father strengthens his reality-altering powers, and by holding Moira McTaggart hostage, Proteus manages to keep the X-Men at bay. Alright, Stojr, what are your thoughts?
So, interesting. Like John Byrne gets, plotter rights on this particular issue. I'm not sure why. I'm not sure what's. I mean, I guess the reason why is he wrote some words, but I actually don't. I don't know what the rhyme or reason is for this, other than maybe he just contributes more in a particular way. Um, I think
Maybe.
it's interesting. Go ahead.
Was gonna say just probably with plotter, so it's probably just the idea of where the story is going, right? He probably has some idea of how maybe that impromptu fight in the middle, maybe that was his idea of how to get them back together or something like that, right?
hmm Yeah, I guess. I mean, like, I guess, like, when you think of the Marvel method of like the way they do this stuff, and where's that line, right? Like,
Sure.
why, what did he not do in the last issue without getting that plotter credit that he gets in this issue? Just an interesting thought. I don't know.
Yeah.
Little, inside baseball, kind of trying to understand some of that stuff. The um, the the fact that Moira is trying to take him out and snipe him is pretty cold blooded, but you get it. Like it's he's murdering people left and right. I like the very 70s 80s scope there. That's where it looks like you're looking through the T1000 computer on how they target people. Interesting that Cyclops tries to stop her, but it's cool that she's able to kind of take him out. I could do without Proteus sort of narrating the scene. Like a bullet just missed me. The firing has stopped. I'm going to go now. Didn't need that. Otherwise, the issue's really strong. I like the character developments where Cyclops is trying to kind of test the team and get their head back in the game. I think it's a really smart way to get Wolverine, out of a funk, is to basically pick a fight with him. I'm pretty sure it's what my son wants to do when he's, trying to apologize for something he did wrong. He wants to pick a little fight with me and get me riled up so that he gets me distracted for things. So all good there. I think that pose that Storm has, where she's screaming enough and her kind of arms straight behind
Mm-hmm.
her, like I feel like I've seen that a bunch of times. Like that is a sort of quintessential Storm pose. I think like later, eventually, when we get to Storm and the Morlocks, maybe I don't know, 80 issues from now or 100 issues from now. I feel like she did that exact same pose there. So it would have been drawn by Paul Smith at that time, most likely. Um, yeah, I think there's a ton of backstory here. I find it interesting based off what you said earlier in our previous episode about the speech bubbles for Jean. You know, I wanted to say before that maybe the darker lines around her speech bubbles were when she's using her powers, maybe not necessarily that there's some progression to darkness, but they're just doing it when she's in costume.
Yeah.
It looks like so, and then when she's out of costume, it doesn't have that. So it's maybe she's putting on a gravelly voice to sound more impressive when she's in her costume. Who knows?
Yep.
Um, I, beyond that, it's a great fun issue. They're trying to stop a villain that, for all intents and purposes, overpowering them. And then we get to like the last page with the title of the next issue, "The Action of the Tiger." I don't know what's up with the tooths of the tiger and the tiger. Like, there's no tiger in this whole storyline. Like, what are these things? I mean, we could talk more about that in the next issue when we talk about the fact that there is no tiger. But since I mentioned it here, and the previous issue was how sharper than a serpent's tooth, I don't. There's nobody biting people. Like I don't. I'm not sure what we're talking about here.
Makes me wonder if maybe it's an allusion to some poem or some song or something that I just don't know.
It's something I'm not getting.
Yeah. Um, I was, gosh, I can't remember what it was. There was some epic I read recently that had 4 issues in a row, and the titles were all lyrics from All Along the Watchtower, which
Mm.
seems weird out of context, but then when you see them one in a row, it's like, oh, okay, I see what we're doing here. But I can't remember which one that was. Um, so maybe it's something like
And
that.
Kirkman does something like that for the Robert Kirkman does something like that for the Invincible books,
Oh, yeah?
where the I mean, just it's just a fun little Easter egg thing, but like that the titles of all of these thin trades are TV shows. So
Hmm.
it's Head of the Class, Perfect Strangers, Fact of Life, Eight is Enough, Family Matters, Three's Company, My Favorite Martian, Who's the Boss, Happy Days.
Wow.
So it doesn't have anything to do with the story. He just wanted to name them that stuff. So yeah,
Well, yeah.
sometimes I do that.
Um, yeah, for this issue, let's see. I thought the fight that Cyclops picks with Wolverine, while it makes a little sense, it seemed oddly risky. I know he kind of explains it away of he had Jean in the background to back him up or whatever, and okay, I guess, but and what he does, I think, makes sense. But boy, it seems like Wolverine's so wound up that is a risk. They write it so it works out, and Wolverine just respects him now because he's a brawler. So okay, that's fine. I liked that Colossus was sent against Proteus first in Edinburgh because, he's a metal man and Proteus doesn't like metal. It occurred to me that when that happened, though, that I wonder if Claremont was intentionally giving Proteus this vulnerability to metal to counter how useless Colossus and Wolverine were against Magneto, right? They can't do anything against Magneto. Magneto just would completely, throw them away. So why not this be a chance for them to shine in a way? Because here's a guy where, well, their greatest weakness against the X-Men's greatest foe is now their greatest strength. I don't know if that was intentional or not, but the idea came to my mind. But yeah, really fun. Excited to see how this is going to wrap up because boy, Proteus sure seems being able to hop from person to person. How do you defeat that, right? And he can not only hop from person to person, but warp reality. How do you defeat that? We're getting little hints that, distract him, get him to burn out the body that he's in, which I guess means maybe the person he possesses is already dead when he possesses them, but it sure seems like Cyclops is just more comfortable with sacrificing people to accomplish whatever he needs to accomplish. But yeah, for a
Yeah, I think they say that when he possesses the girl with the flat tire, that like she's instantly dead, and then he's just walking around in her meat suit or whatever. So
yeah. All right. Well, Stojr, any other final thoughts on this one?
no, I think this is a great story arc. It gets all the X-Men back together. We got a good villain. It's got backstory for one of our characters where we learn a lot with Moira. So I'm looking forward to the conclusion.
All right. Well, again, if you guys enjoyed our thoughts, follow us on YouTube. We're going to read, rate, and review a full Epic Collection trade paperback every month, despite what the outro thing says. I'll probably get that fixed for the next volume. These one shots we're going to come out with every week. Thank you guys for watching, and well, we hope you tune in again next time. All right. Oh, where's the outro? There it is. There it goes.